You're listening to a podcast from the Finnish Football Show. Yes, it's the Finnish Football Show. I'm Mark Wiltshire, and I'm trying to remember how to do the introduction to the Finnish Football Show because it's been a long time. I'm joined today by Keke Mullari. Hi, Keke.
Moro. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? Happy midsummer. I've still got a few of these on the go.
Yeah, long ghettos there. Did you
got
import them yourself?
Yeah. No. I made my way up to the funnily named Scandi Kitchen in central London and picked up a few of these. But yeah, happy midsummer, everybody. I hope everyone had a good time. It's good to be back, Marky boy.
Yeah, it is. There's been stuff going. Well, I think we talked about it in the last episode that Satu's been ill this year, so time is a little bit of a premium. We've done some stuff. We've done a couple of shows together, and we've done a couple of interview shows, and me and Jules have done a few shows for the SJK pod. But because we're here in the same town, somehow it's a bit easier to just get it together and get it done whenever it might be. So I don't want to neglect the Finnish Football Show. I think during the summer I'll put out a couple of or maybe one episode with a couple of excerpts from some of the stuff Jules and I have done, because we spoke with Kasper Parnanen again and got
nice.
Incredible story. Did you listen to it, or are you also boycotting it because it's SJK flavour?
No. Listen, I've tuned in. Mate.
Okay,
Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
But that story about how he got his call up to the Finland national team is one that needs a bigger audience. So I'll share that with the Finnish Football Show crowd as well. And then last week we spoke with Jarkko Wiss, the SJK manager.
Yeah, which is that's a pretty nice coup, isn't it? As a SJK fan and an SJK podder, as you are, it must have been really nice to sit down with Jarkko. What did he have to say to you?
Yeah, it was Jules said to me, "Oh, shall we arrange to speak to him, because we don't hear from him. We don't hear anything, and his post-match stuff is quite sort of, professional. And we've had like 3 years of really good. You wouldn't believe the kind of stuff we've heard from Stevie over the last few years, and it sort of stays here, and only comes out if it's appropriate, and some of it wasn't.
Or if you're too drunk.
Yeah. So speaking with Jallu last week, I think it kind of humanized him a little bit. So I think people at the club generally just appreciate what we're doing there.
Nice.
Just to try and spread the word in English. There's a lot of international people living here. I always try and encourage anyone who's into football, come to your local club, and that gives them something to, I don't know, follow.
Yeah, make them feel part of the community.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely, mate.
But then, so it was funny. We were there on Monday, and after the interview, we were recording it in Raimo Sarjärvi's lounge, his lounge off the VIP lounge upstairs in the Oma Stadium, and all the SJK players, the first team squad, had come in to the stadium because they wanted to watch the first Cape Verde game, because their teammate Kelvin Pires was there at the World Cup.
Yeah.
And so they're all trying to come in while we're recording the interview, and then at the end they were like, "You finished?" Yeah, we're just packing up, and they all piled in and sort of had a bit of a chat with some of the players as well. But that was really, really nice. But then a few days later, I've been contacted. Would I be interested to make some YouTube content with these couple of young, trendy YouTubers in kind of for Veikkaus and SJK as part of some marketing for this season? So,
wow.
And of course, I'm a social media whore when things like that come along. So I said, "Yeah, I'll do it. Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Sign me up." And it was quite nice. They came around here to the home, so they got a series of these things, and it was like, "I'll meet you at home, and let's go out around town and see some stuff, and then go to the stadium." And the theme of it was like the SJK fans' dream match day. So, but it involved us going into the town centre, into the locker rooms, the changing rooms. Sorry, I don't know where that came
Yeah,
from.
thank
The
you.
changing rooms, um, and then out onto the pitch and doing a few like keepy ups and bits and pieces. And
I need to see this.
yeah, I think
Oh,
it's going to
Wiltshire
be.
doing the old keepy uppies on the pitch.
I tell you what, listener. I tell you what. There was one bit we're in the town. We're in the town centre, and this guy.
How many takes
No,
was that for you
I
to
tell you
get
what.
five keepy uppies?
No, I didn't say five. I didn't put a number on it. But he was doing this juggling, and he said, "Right, I'm going to flick the ball to you," and he caught it on his neck and flipped it up, and it came to me, and it went past me, and I just put my one leg behind the other, back-heeled it back, and it plopped into his hands, and that was it.
Oh
It was
dear.
all filmed as well. If that doesn't make the cut, I'll be furious. I'll be
Yeah,
asking for
quality.
the editor's cut of that one.
Yeah,
So that'll become. I think that's coming out sometime in July. So we'll share that one
nice.
around
Lovely,
as
mate.
well. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a World Cup on. I mean, it's
there is.
the,
Yeah,
the things on the. We are going to talk about the most recent Huuhkajat internationals, but yeah, it's been a few weeks ago now, and the FIFA World Cup with the record number of teams has kicked off. I mean, there's been some funny old games, hasn't there? But sadly, Finland not involved, and all I keep getting from people is, "Oh, are you supporting Norway? Are you supporting Sweden? Who are you supporting? Because Finland ain't there." I'm like, I'm not even watching it, mate.
are you not watching it at all?
Oh, listen, I've seen some bits and all that, but yeah, some of these matches I just can't get on with. Do you know what I mean? Like, who was it the other day? What was it last night? Who did Argentina, Austria? I watched a bit of that, but yeah, yeah, some of them. I mean, I was pleased to see how Cape Verde do okay and score a couple of goals, but yeah, some of these games I'm struggling with, to be honest, mate.
I it's a bit difficult over here. So I've on a couple of occasions I have sat up. In fact, the first Scotland game. So I wanted to watch Scotland. I want to watch Brazil. And that first Saturday night, I went to bed at 9:30. I got up.
Yeah, set the alarm.
I
Yeah,
did. I got up at 1:45. I sat there and watched the Brazil game with my stepson Topius, and then
yeah,
in between that and the Scotland game, I was doing some prep for the interview with Yalu we just talked about
yeah.
at
Quality.
like 3 in the morning, and then I watched the Scotland game, and I got a bit noddy towards the middle of the second half. It was a bit of a struggle, but the next day I was a bit like all over the place. So I thought I'm not doing that too often. Over here, it's
Yeah,
quite difficult because of the extra 2 hours on the times that you've got. There's games kicking off at like 11 p.m., 1,
yeah, yeah.
2, 3, and you just can't do it, can you? You can't do it and then get up for work at 6 in the
Indeed.
morning. So I've tried to watch some, but I'm not beating myself up too much if I'm missing them. Uh,
No, there we are.
but it has, and we talked. You said that we've got some Finland games to talk about, so
Yeah.
we'll talk about those because you were there, and we sort of I think did we preview them and then we never came back to them, and or was that even the games before we previewed? It's terrible. Some years we just don't get that many shows out, so we need to pick it up in the second half of 26. I think. Um,
We do, we do. I mean, yeah, we've over the years we've done all right. We've got most of our previews and our reviews out. Okay, we've missed a couple of games, but I think we've been fair enough. We've covered the transition period that it still feels like we're in the middle of. So we'll pick that up and pick up where we left off and discuss these most recent two games, mate.
Well, let's do that because they were a few weeks ago. We're
Yeah,
not a million miles away from it,
not
but
a million miles
there were
away.
two games, both friendly games, and both played overseas. So first of all, there was Germany 4, Finland 0, and then that was followed up a few days later by Hungary 2, Finland 1. Um,
Yes.
and you were at the Germany game.
No, I
Oh,
wasn't,
you weren't. Oh,
unfortunately.
okay. Sorry, I thought you
No, I
travelled there.
did. Yeah, no, I did. I did plan to go, but yeah, it didn't quite work out in the end. And my regular travel partner, Ville, who I was desperately trying to twist his arm to get him to go, and I won't tell you exactly what he said, but let's say he predicted the scoreline. So he
Right. Fair enough. Um,
Yeah, you would have had to have bleep what he actually said. So I'll just go with he predicted how the scoreline would end up, and so we decided to save our cash. But yeah, I mean, yeah, 4-0. What can you say about that? It was obviously a friendly game. I mean, what can you expect from a friendly game away in Germany? Do you know what I mean? It is a bit of a weird one. I imagine for whoever organises these, whether whose idea it was, whether it came from the German FA or the Finnish FA, or whoever throws up these ideas. Germany obviously using it as a World Cup warm-up match, and yeah, I guess the best we can say about Finland and Jakob Friis is maybe a bit of experimental big stuff against a strong team. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
was it right? And so cards on the table. I didn't see any of the games we're about to
yep.
talk about. So if we've got any detail, listener, it's coming from Keke, and if he hasn't got anything, then we're going
We're
then we're going
struggling.
to
Yeah.
go quite facts and figures for you.
Uh,
But looking at the squad,
yeah.
there's not. I mean, we've had a lot of new names coming into the squad over the last year, so that's fair
Yes.
enough. But there wasn't too much experimentation with the players that were selected.
No, no, not really, mate. I mean, I'll let you know the starting 11. On paper it looked like a 3-5-2. So yeah, we went with Lukas Radetzky in goal, predictably. A back three of Vilikoski in the middle. Nikolai Alho, who's now one of the elder statesmen of the
Mm.
team, on the right. Toni Miettinen on the left of that back three, and then into the middle, Robin Lod, Leo Volta, Adam Mahiev, Anssi Suhonen, Ryan Mahuta, and then up front, Benjamin Chellerman, who obviously plays in Germany, so it must have been nice for him to get a start there against the Mannschaft, and Topi Keskinen made up the front too. So yeah, names that we're used to seeing now. Yeah, Robin Lod and Nikolai Alho, as I said, notwithstanding Lukas Radetzky, those two being the elder statesmen of the team, I would have said, really.
And do you think that the lineup was a different? Because looking at FOTMob, it says they're lined up in a 4-3-3. Did it seem different to that on the day?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these ones, like it's as they attack and as they move into a defensive position, it can become a bit fluid, and the sort of the lineup changes depending on who's got the ball and what you're trying to achieve.
Mm.
So there was a bit of positional movement or what have you, but yeah, it was yeah, that's sort of how they kicked off, and then the formation changed as the game went on, depending on whether we were. Well, I say yeah, we were probably defending for most of it.
I mean, looking at the stats, it would suggest as much. 65% possession for Germany, 22 shots, 12 on target, and
Yeah,
Finland had 8 shots and none on target.
yeah. I mean,
Did it
yeah.
look as one-sided as that watching the game? Because sometimes the stats don't seem to support what you've watched with your own eyes.
No, I'm afraid it was. Yeah, I mean, there were spells, but yeah, nothing really to write home about for us. Unfortunately, the Germany side were just too strong. You know what I mean? We did have the odd foray into their half, and the one or two chances. But as you say, 7 shots, 0 on target. That's the story of the match, really. And then another stat for you: Germany 10 corners to Finland's 3. So yeah, it was what it was. You know what to expect. Germany are one of the best sides in the world. They'll be looking to win this World Cup. So it's always going to be difficult there. I mean, yeah, Jakob Friis said that he thought his players performed well. He said it was good to see so many of them play almost an hour against world class opportunity. And he said it would be a difficult job, and that Finland would be without the ball for most of the match. He said he predicted that before the game. He told his team that they would have to work hard and that they wouldn't have the ball for long
Mm.
periods. They would be without the ball. So yeah, that's sort of how he predicted the game would go. I mean, he said that the game was a good lesson. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a confidence man, really, and to get your arse handed to you 4-0 is never nice, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
But yeah, they went into the Hungary game, and we'll move on to that. But that was a bit of a different story. But
Were these
but
games
yeah,
played in Germany and then in Hungary? They were sort of
yes, mate.
a little
Yep.
tour. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And how was the travelling support?
Minimal, it has to be
Okay, all
said.
right. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. There was talk of people not really wanting to go to Hungary when the tickets first become available because of the political
Okay,
situation
yeah,
now. I
yeah,
think the prime minister or the president, whoever it was, has since been
yeah,
elbowed.
yeah,
Seems to be a running theme at the moment with our own Keir Starmer calling it a day
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
But yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think people were not keen. I mean, I've heard that Budapest is an absolutely fantastic city to visit, but yeah, I think there was a few of the hardcore decided a friendly game to somewhere where they weren't quite comfortable with the politics of the country wasn't really worth going. So I think that the support was really left up to the expat community who might be living in these two countries. To
yeah,
be honest.
and also like these are two friendlies in the at the start of summer when we've not been having a very good run of it in the last year or so. So it's kind of understandable. For me, I think at the start of the season we sort of said, well, there's not much international football really until the autumn, and we'll come on
Yeah,
to that
yeah.
shortly. So yeah, it's not surprising, and I think the results um, maybe were what was expected. How was that Hungary game? It was obviously a closer affair, and the two sides are closer in FIFA ranking than the first game. But how was that as a
That
contest?
Yeah, that was a much more even contest, mate. I mean, especially in the second half, I have to say it was. Yeah, I mean, both of Hungary's goals came in the first half, and it was the first half was a little bit disappointing, but yeah, in the second half, I mean, Jarkko Wiss made a few changes, and the second half, Finland sort of really got into it, and Tony Miettinen scored on 71 minutes to sort of even up the contest, and Finland could have gone on to even snatch a draw. You know, I think was it did Topi Keskinen come on? I think he had a couple of chances. Um, yeah, Topi Keskinen came on just after the hour, and he had
Almost everyone on the bench came on by the looks of
well,
it.
exactly that. One thing I do want to mention, which I think is important, is that between the two matches, Jesse Joronen announced that he was retiring from international football. Yeah, Jesse Joronen been involved with the Finland national team for a number of years. What is it, 14 years, I think?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so he's hung up the gloves and called it a day at international level. And I honestly thought that after that announcement, it would be absolutely nailed on and obvious that Joronen would start that Hungary game. But but Fries went with Lukas Radetzky again, and left it until the 80th minute until Jesse Joronen came on. I mean,
Yeah, it's
I
interesting,
mean,
isn't it? I mean, I suppose in the autumn when we have some home games, Jordan will be paraded in front of the Pohjoiskari and,
I'm
and
sure he
and the
will.
whole Olympic Stadium, and he'll get the acclaim that he needs. But yeah, I get your point.
Yeah, I'm sure he will, and that'll be fantastic to give him the send off that he absolutely thoroughly deserves. But for him to, I mean, I don't know any of the ins and outs behind it, whether he and Fries and the goalkeeping coaches have had a conversation, and whether he's decided it himself to try and prolong his club career, or whether they've said, look, it's time to move on. That I honestly don't want to speculate. I don't know, but
No,
if he's come out and announced that he's not going to play for the national team again, I think it's a bit disingenuous to leave him on the bench for till the last 10 minutes. I mean, I'd have given him the start, even if he got the first 45. Do you know what I mean?
I yes, I mean I do. I mean neither him nor Lucas Radetsky are the long-term future of the national team. So what harm in replacing You're like your superstar, but 36-year-old keeper with someone who's
Yeah,
on the way out who's 33.
yeah.
That makes no difference, really, does it, to the
Not
overall?
really, not for this match. I wouldn't have thought, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's just my take on it. But yeah, as I say, like, yeah, it was a much sort of fairer contest. We did have a couple of chances in the first half with, yeah. Ronnie Jansen had a shot from a Leo Volta corner, but yeah, it was blocked by the Hungarian defence, and that was a chance that came quite early in the game. Yeah, it was. Hungary had a few shots that trickled wide and didn't really trouble Radetzky. But obviously, then after 25 minutes, they scored the opening goal, and then again just before half time. But Finland were much better in the second half. Yeah, second half they started to create chances. Adam Mahiev was playing really well, pulling the strings. Yeah, and then who came on then? Yeah, Keskinen came on the hour mark, I believe, 65 minutes or so. He played really well. Had a couple of shots, and yeah, and Tony Miettinen scored Finland's goal after 70 minutes. And if you haven't seen it, go and have a look, because it's quite decent actually. There was it was a weird one though, because he sort of knew if we were going to get anything out of the game. He didn't really celebrate the goal too much. He just sort of one of those where they grab the ball and run back and try and get started again as quick as possible, which was yeah, a bit of a shame, because it wasn't a bad goal at all, really. And yeah,
Go on.
No, I was just going to say, like, over the two games, Miettinen sort of came out with his head held high. Do you know what I mean? He actually did all right over the two pieces.
Yeah, because he's also quite young still, isn't he? 23, but it's good to see maybe a new generation of centre backs coming
Yeah,
into the squad. There is clearly a transitional or renewal period. But what is the reaction from the hardcore fans about the coach Jakob Friis? He's been there just over a year now. I see some comments in various WhatsApp groups that are not especially positive. Certainly 3 weeks ago there were quite a lot of them. But what are you seeing and hearing?
I think people are underwhelmed, if I'm honest. Um, it's always going to be difficult, I think, for a foreign manager to manage Finland, especially one with no real pedigree. I think we've had foreign managers before. Most affectionately for us, Roy Hodgson. But he came with a certain pedigree. He'd managed some of the best clubs in Europe. So, but I think with Friis, it's a little bit. I think the overwhelming feeling is underwhelmed, to be honest. I know he hasn't got fairy dust or a magic wand, but yeah, I think people have been expecting. Okay, now's the time we need to start performing. You've had these guys for a bit of time now, so yeah, what's the sort of plan, But yeah, well, I don't think he's going anywhere. If that's the next question, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he'll see out his contract.
No, I wasn't thinking to ask about that. I was thinking really, or I was about to say that we'll see in the autumn when we have the next round of the UEFA Nations League.
Yes.
And
I mean, there's some teams we've discussed that briefly, but there's some teams in that Nations League group that if he's going to win over these fans, he needs to be putting in some wins.
Yeah,
needs to be beating these teams. So
I think it's San Marino, Belarus, and Albania. Yep. Now, I think Albania's not necessarily an easy team.
No,
but I think the other two are beatable. And if we're going to bounce back up towards the second level, well, is it changed for this version? Because there are changes to the structure, aren't there? I can't. Yeah. It changes every couple of years.
Where's Rich when you need him? He was all over this.
Yeah, he was all over this. That's quite right.
He's busy on the Canadian football show.
He is, yeah. Rich has switched sides. He's gone to bat for the other side. Well, no, not quite like that. Um, he's he's still with us in spirit, but he's definitely not following Finland anymore, is he? That's for sure.
I
Um,
think he's got one little eye on him.
I think he's keeping an eye. Yeah, that's true. Um, all right, I tell you what, listener, rather than us pretending we know what we're talking about, let's come back to that nearer the time and we'll look at the structure of the UEFA Nations League, if it's changing this time or if it's changing for the following iteration, because they keep tinkering to make sure that the
They do.
bigger countries get through to
Yeah,
qualify for competitions, basically, don't they?
yeah.
But yeah, that starts at the end of September with an away game in San Marino, followed by a home game against Belarus. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
we'll come back to that.
last time I was there in San Marino, that was a tough old watch. But yeah, as I say, mate, if Jakob Friis is going to win over these fans, he needs to be putting in a 3-4-5 niller against San Marino.
Yeah.
I think that's the sort of result we need to be looking for. And you are right, we are still deep into this transitional period of this team. You know, so it is still a little bit. I mean, time flies. I'm still wondering where all the Euro 2020 players are. Do you know what I mean? It's
When's Johnny Calco coming back?
yeah, yeah. Where's Paulus Ariuri? Every time I look at him, he's doing so Dancing with the Stars or some other stuff. He's a busy man.
He was on my TV last night during that Argentina Austria game wearing a rascal pair of baggy trousers. I know that much.
There you go. Yeah, very trendy, very trendy. But yeah, at some point we got to get over that and realise that we're in the future now, and yeah, some of these players are going to be here for a little while, but we want to start seeing them gelling. You know what I mean, and start seeing them putting in a few performances. So fingers crossed.
Um, Also around the same time, the Helmarit played
Oh
the
yes,
women's national team, and they were playing qualifiers for the World Cup, and
Women's
I
World Cup.
think
Yeah,
yeah, let's talk about their results because they were terrific results.
very good.
Yeah,
Yes.
so these were played at the beginning of June. And now looking at the dates of these, now I realise why I didn't get to see them because it's around that time that my parents were here. And it's just chaos. Like
Mm.
you have guests staying over and they need entertaining and doing stuff. And I just completely lost track of the all the football schedule that was going on. So apologies to the Helmet as well. But they had two games at the beginning of June. They got a 4-0 away win against Slovakia and a
Yeah,
3-1
which is
home win
decent.
again. Yeah, and a 3-1 home win over Portugal, which is also um, very, very good as well. And
Yeah.
that that left them. So this is in the qualifying groups. It's split into these leagues like the Nations League, as we know. They've been
Yep.
following the format between as qualifying for various competitions. So Group B3 finished with Portugal top, 15 points, goal difference plus 13. Finland second, 15 points, goal difference of plus 9. And then
Yeah.
Slovakia on 6 and Latvia on 0. So that's a really strong performance in that. The only game they lost was away to Portugal 2-0. Otherwise, that's really good stuff.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
it's brilliant. It's been really good. I mean, you look at those goal scorers for the Slovakia game, Ria Erling, who's got a couple already in this campaign from one of the home fixtures. Lotta Lindstrom scored twice. She won the WSL 2 with Birmingham City on loan from London City Lionesses, local team to me. So yeah, I think she might be back in Bromley with London City next season. Yeah, and Una Savenius, who's at Newcastle, she finished them off with the fourth goal. So yeah, that's a team who have got some youngsters in it, and the transition's gone really really well. And then the Portugal game, Nea Lettola scored twice. and Ava Nystrom of West Ham scored the third. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? It's you can't say fairer than that. The Helmarit are keeping their flag flying high at the moment.
And this is to qualify for the Women's World Cup in 2027, which is hosted in
Yep,
Brazil. And
yep.
looking at the stadiums, it was nice to see some of the stadiums that were built, especially for the Men's World Cup, what, 12 years ago,
Still here.
are actually getting a use again. I think they built a new one in Brasilia, especially for that competition that never gets used. So it's good they'll have some games played in there again. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
but I thought I'd just mention the how this round of playoffs is going to be. So we've got these leagues and these leagues with groups of four in. So
Yes.
the four teams that win those top four groups, they go through automatically. So that is Denmark, France, Spain, and Germany, not England. England finished second in their group as well, like Finland did. Then there's there's kind of seeded playoffs. So
That's
the
right.
top teams from those higher groups will play against teams from the lower groups. And it's too boring and complicated to read what it says here. But there's a round one and a round two to get seven more winners, and then one country goes into a final FIFA playoff tournament. So there's several
Gosh.
chances still to go,
Yeah.
but to be played in the early to mid October. Finland will be playing against Serbia, home and
Yes.
away.
Serbia, home and away. Yes.
Yeah,
So Serbia finished bottom of their group that contained Denmark, Sweden, and Italy without winning a game. So so yeah, I mean 4-1 loss against Denmark most recently, 3-0 loss against Italy, Sweden 1-0, Italy 6-0. They did get a 0-0 draw at home to Sweden, and that was the only point they picked up from qualification. So
I
yeah,
think it's in
form
our
wise, the
favour.
Helmet are all over it. Yeah,
If we can win that game, then we go into round two with a home game against either Italy or Belarus. So we got a bit
yeah.
of
Oh gosh, them again.
Belarusian action
Yeah,
this
more
autumn.
countries we won't be visiting. Gosh,
Well, yeah, that's another one, isn't it? On that
on the list.
conscientious
Yeah,
objection list. Yeah, exactly right. But actually,
indeed, indeed.
that would be a home game. The way that the bracket is structured. So,
So just a
of course,
point,
oh,
just a point
home
on
and
that,
away, I
Mark.
suppose. Of course.
Yeah, just a point on that.
Mm.
I don't know if we mentioned it previously, but the upcoming Huuhkajat game against Belarus, is it so that it won't be played in Finland?
The home the home
Yeah,
game won't be played in Finland.
yes, yes, I believe so.
Uh,
I don't
let's have
think
a
I'm
look.
wrong with that.
Well, actually, it's showing on the Palolita website as at the Olympia Stadium
Oh, okay.
on the 29th of September.
I
Kickoff
might be wrong, or it might have
9:45.
changed then. But I think there was a
Maybe.
bit of a, I think there was a bit of a stink about it being
Yeah, you're
played without
right.
a home advantage
There
somewhere.
was something about that. That's true.
Yeah. Well, we can have a look and update
Anyway,
everyone.
yeah, that's true. Um,
Update the people who know already.
well, yeah, probably. Or here's the thing: find us on social media and tell us what we got wrong.
Yeah.
That will see if anyone's paying attention to this or if we're just talking into the air.
No, there
Um,
you go.
what about the under 21s? So
Gosh,
the
yeah, they've been in
men's,
action as well.
yeah, they have. The men's under 21s have had a couple of Euro. Um, oh, Well,
Couple of
Euro.
Euros, yep,
No,
Euro qualification games.
Euro qualification game. Sorry,
Yep.
I completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, a couple
I
of
mean,
Euro qualification
I
games.
think we mentioned these before, but yeah, there was a storming 8-0 win against San Marino, which is what we want the men's A national team to be delivering. And then there was a 3-0 win over Cyprus. And I'm pretty sure we mentioned those before. But then most recently, when around the same time as the Huuhkajat and the Helmarit were playing, there was a couple of
And my
friendlies.
parents were in town. Same
And your parents
excuse.
were in town.
Three.
Yep.
That's for missing all of those international games in the space of about 2 weeks.
Yeah, there was a couple of friendlies against our Nordic cousins. So Finland under 21 beat
Okay.
Sweden
Yes.
3-1, and then they beat Norway away 2-0. Two away games. Sweden 2-1, 3-1, sorry, and Norway 2-0. So yeah, it was nice for the young Finns to get those two results over their Nordic cousins.
Yeah, and I saw that Matthias Siltanen got a
Yep.
goal in both games, which is good to see. And
Otsaliimat also scored in the Sweden game. A name that has been bandied about for a guy who could pop up to the Huuhkajat.
yes, and well, let's also mention Onni Helen, who was playing for Corteper, I think, a year ago, and then got his into overseas move, and he seems to be going from strength to strength as well. So it's looking positive
Yeah,
for the Finnish national team at under 21 level as well. And I noticed in there that Julius Paunen and Kasper's brother got his call up as well, and he's playing as part of a very handy AC Oulu team this year and seems to be making that central midfield position his own. So it's positive
it is. Yeah,
signs there.
they continue their qualification campaign at the end of the summer in September with games against Spain, Romania, and Kosovo. So yeah, good luck to those guys.
Yeah, so they got a couple of games at the end of September and then one more in October, and then I wonder after that there's probably some or other playoffs for certain teams if they finish in the right position in their tables.
Indeed.
So yeah, we really need to get our act together this autumn, Keke. There's a lot of games coming up.
There is, mate. There is, and we will. But yeah, speaking about games coming up and games going on, there's been Veikkausliiga fixtures today as well.
There has actually. I missed the see. It's not just Finnish football that the international football that I missed. I missed the end of the Inter one, Asicor one to come and talk to you. So
Oh dear.
I've got my priorities sorted.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been. It's I must say, I'm having a bit of a tough season with the Veikkausliiga. It's not quite working for Asukor yet. In fact, I think I need to just refresh my screen because we've now got 10
Mm.
points, not 9, after that draw.
Yeah. There
Every
you go.
point counts. But
Play 12-1-2.
play 12
Drawn
1-2,
6.
sitting
Oh
third
no.
bottom, 10th place
Yeah.
with 10 points. And the thing is, not actually playing that badly. Today we played well. Okay, Inter are top, so going away there and getting a point is no disgrace anyway at the moment. But so many games we've been, if you look at the stats, we've been dominating, and yet somehow during the game not looking convincing, and particularly in front of goal. So
Mm.
there's an issue there for
Well,
Asukor.
Pananen scored again today.
Excuse me. Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was and actually quite a nicely taken goal as well. But you've got someone who scored 18 last year, and somehow the team is not creating the
Playing to his
opportunities
strengths,
for
yeah.
him. Yeah, yeah, and you know, experience has left, youth has come in. It's been the way over the years for Asicor. But if you look at the top of the Veikkausliiga scoring charts, two top goal scorers, 7 points. Rasse Karjalainen left us last year.
Yeah.
Jaime Moreno left us the year before. Or
Oh
yeah, I
dear.
think so. There's that's kind of our problem. And when we spoke to Jallu last week, he said there would be some transfer activity. So he is hoping, and
There we are.
I think I think we should come back to Veikkausliiga maybe later in July after my summer holiday travels. Maybe I'll try and
Mm.
get Ali and Rasmus together and let's have a bit of a chat about
Yeah.
Veikkausliiga because it's certain aspects of it are the same as last year, And then there's a couple of very big differences. Like Inter are top, Cups are second, okay, as it was.
Yep.
Huuhkajat are fifth, so kind of as it was last year. But then Oulu, who was scratching around at the bottom for much of last
Yeah, they're doing all
season,
right.
they're in third. And
Mind you, do you want to mention today's result?
um, well, yeah, I mean they got done today by no, I don't really
Who
because
who who
It
beat
was
them?
Vasa, wasn't it? So I don't really want to mention that at all. Yeah,
VPS
5-1,
five.
very good 5-1 win for VPS, and they're sitting in fourth place at the moment. So
Yeah.
really, that a huge 6 pointer for those two clubs.
Yes, exciting times, mate. It's the league table actually looks. I mean, like you say, it's similar to last season, but again, last season was so interesting, and it really looks interesting this year. You know, like with Inter Turku up the top there.
Yeah, and the other thing that's pleasantly surprising is to see TPS Turku, who came up last year, sitting very safely in seventh place, 16 points. And you know, when the league splits and the top six and the bottom six, like they'll be pushing to get in the top six, which is a great achievement.
Oh yeah.
Um, but then in eighth is Ilves, who lost this evening 4-3 to Kups. A crazy game there. And then
Mm.
Asiko at 10th. So there's things are changing. And I think it's horrible. I mean, when it's your team, it's horrible, but it's also healthy for the league if different teams can push their way up and other teams sort of drop down a little bit,
Totally.
as long as we don't
Yeah.
drop down too much.
I mean that Cup Silves game is crazy. I mean, Cup scored all their goals in the first half.
Oh, really? So it was like, was it
Yeah.
4-0?
No, 4-1.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So well, they had
and
to
then they
go
got
back.
pegged back.
Yes.
Um, and was there something else? I wanted to touch on that in the Veikkausliiga. No, I think maybe for now, let's do it justice when we got more people to chat at it from the perspective of their club. I suspect that Ali and the other Hoyikor supporting members of the Finnish football show tribe are having another challenging season. Um, so maybe we can get on and whine together.
Sure.
All right, so I just wanted to mention one more thing, Keke. You may have noticed that over the weekend I posted something on the Finnish football show, well, everything really, all of our social media that I could get access to at the time, um, to
Yes.
show this book, this Around the World in 80 Clubs book
Yeah.
by Paul Watson. Paul is one of the presenters of the Sweeper podcast. He appears on The Guardian as well. And The Sweeper is just great for wild and wacky stories from smaller football countries and also like groundhopper stuff. So if you're wanting to go and visit a different country and hit a few different stadium, a few different matches, they cover that kind of thing as well. And a couple of years ago, do you sometimes see the video where they're talking about Asiko and their makara minuutti?
Yeah,
It
of
come
course. Yeah.
right,
You can't
okay,
avoid it.
right. So Ash Civil, who was coaching at Asiko up until last year, he somehow contacted Paul and said, "Oh, you've got to do something about Asiko. Um, they give away a free sausage if a goal is scored in the 78th minute or whatever." And then I got pulled into that, and I recorded a little bit for the Sweeper 2 years ago. And then he went on to the Guardian and talked about it, and it's gone round and it goes round every 9 months or so. Someone will send it to me again, like, "Have you
Yeah.
seen this?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm aware of this
Yes.
one." Um, so this book, Around the World in 80 Clubs, it's kind of like 80 of the unusual football stories, and when this was coming out, Paul reached out to me and just said, "Oh, will you check it for me?" So I just sort of read his paragraph, gave him a few facts or additional details or
Yeah.
whatever, just so that he got what he wanted. And he sent me a copy as a thank you, which is very nice. Thanks, Paul. And I asked him to sign it, and not only did he give me a little inscription in the front, um, but he also there was a postcard with basically my own extra chapter written on there. The reason I'm showing this here is it's summertime. This is full of these like short little anything from a page to 4 or 5 pages about
Snappy.
any particular club. If you're on holiday and you're waiting for your other half to get themselves ready to go out and you want something to read for 5 minutes, you can pick it up and read a story. Um, and it's got two Finnish clubs in there. Assi and
Nice.
their sausages, and of course FC Santa Claus, because
Of course.
I haven't got to their chapter yet. I'm working through it very properly from front to back, as books are meant to
Yeah.
be read. But I just thought it's worth pointing out. I've no idea the price of it, but I'm sure if you go Google around the world in 80 clubs, you'll find the book. And somebody commented, "Oh, where can I get the book?" Like when I posted it, someone said, "Oh, where can I get it in Switzerland?" And Paul was straight in there. DM me, I'll sort it out for you. So
Job done.
find the post, message Paul, and I'm sure I'll send you a copy.
Lovely.
Um, and that is an unpaid advertisement on behalf of the sweeper. Doing it out of love, spread the word, and maybe it comes back to us one day from someone else.
Good man.
Never know. But I reckon, Keke, that's about it for this
No,
episode.
yeah, it's been fun, mate. Yeah, it's good to be back. Good to have a little chat. Hopefully we can catch up again soon. Bit more previewing, and you never know. Hopefully we can get to review a fantastic performance and a big margin, nice, plenty of goals win before
That
too long.
that would be good. But before then, even more importantly, I'm going to see you in real life in London in a couple of weeks.
Yes,
Exciting.
London town, London calling. Here we come.
Yeah, we're not telling anyone who's watching this where we're going. Only
No,
certain people know.
where are we going?
London.
Hey, good,
All right, mate. Thanks a lot. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Listener, thanks for
nice one.
listening. We won't be so long away between the next episode, I promise.
Promise. Kiitos.
Paper. You've been listening to the Finnish Football Show. You can find us online at finishfootballshow.com. Remember to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening or watching. You can follow the Finnish Football Show page and group on Facebook and also on Instagram. Escape to Suomi on Twitter is now Finnish Football Show on X. And you will find us on Blue Sky at Finnish Football Pod. See the links in the episode description, along with the links to the Finnish Football Show merch shirts.